今話していくものは、東京メトロ南北線の延伸予定、品川駅まで。もちろん、アクセス利便性が高くなるっていうのは正しいですが、鉄道愛好者のみんなが伝えておいてなかった理由は、折り返し運転が安くなる。具体的に、白金高輪止まりの区間便が延伸します。So from this point on, I would explain in English for my international viewers. So the north-south line, basically the Tokyo Metro Namboku Line, they'll be extending one stop. It's like a branch from Shirokane Takanawa to Shinagawa. So that's the basic information. So many blocks, like this Tetsudo Channel, for example, yes, they do underline like the on the face value reasons why the extension is even considered in the first place. But many of these blogs, they only give you like the basic information and they don't really illustrate in depth about like why the extension is even a thing in the first place. So if I were to like translate this, I put this into Google Translate. So they are saying shortening the total travel time between Shinagawa, Roppongi to 9 minutes. And a lot of them, they love to use this as a reason. Starting station of this future line. And because Shinagawa also has KQ, Keihin Kyuko to Haneda Airport, so yeah, that's another reason why to the public they give these reasons. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And the thing is, these are not wrong because the public, they aren't like, train enthusiasts or bus enthusiasts with like extensive knowledge about the railway system and everything. They are obviously not going to understand if you throw in all the engineering jargon or like complicated terms used. Like they are not going to know how a train is going to turn back or anything. They just want to know like how it benefits them. So obviously in like the press releases or like the train enthusiast blogs, they have to mention like the most appealing to the eye reasons why, like the face value reasons. So it's not wrong, but it doesn't really illustrate fully the considerations behind like this extension. So just now I mentioned kukanbin, which is basically short working trip. So physically, how do you identify them? So it's something like you have the Tokyo Metro logo or you have the toei mita line logo, and they'll probably say something like I03. It depends on the train model, but this is like usually what they would say. And then they would put here shirokane. I cannot write properly because I'm using a mouse. I'm so sorry. Taka nawa. And then there will also be English as well. You get the whole idea of it. So this is basically the destination that they would display at the front, at the end of the train, or at the sites. They'll tell you that this is a short working trip terminating at Shirokane Takanawa. So this is just additional information for those of you who are not so well versed in Tokyo subways. So station 2 is Shirokane-dai and station 3 is Shirokane Takanawa. Oops. Now, all the short working trips, they would terminate here, they would go to the siding, and then they would turn around to go back northbound to either toei mita line or Namboku line, the north-south line. And over here, it's like a shared section, a shared track section between Mita line and Namboku line. So it's just single tracks. For Meguro Station, it is an island platform, but Shirokane Dai, it is a side platform. Like, pretty simple. So at Shirokane Takanawa, this is where things start to get a little bit complicated. Not really, but yeah. So it's two island platforms. And at the outer edges, I'm not sure how you would say it, but this is where the mita line would continue. And for Namboku line, they have to cross over to the middle platforms, like in this fashion. And yeah, they would diverge. Now, I am not a avid railway enthusiast. Frankly speaking, I forgot the layout of the sidings, but it's probably something like this. And then the red part is gonna be the one that's gonna extend to Shinagawa in future. In like around 5 years time or so, I guess. More than 5 years time. And yes, this is probably how the siding looks like. So the short working trips from Namboku line that terminate at Shirokane Takanawa, they can just turn around. And likewise for Mita line, they can just turn around like this. 一番大切なポイントが白金高輪のホームでの折り返しが全然できない。こちらでの折り返しができる。Now, I don't know if there is CBTC or anything, if the tracks are a single direction or dual direction, but typically under normal circumstances, like in revenue operation, the tracks are all single direction. And because they are designed to be single direction, it's like people who are boarding Mita line or Namboku line in whichever direction, it's designed for passenger use and not designed to turn trains around. The main point is that you are unable to turn trains around at the platforms and you can only turn around at the sidings. And because of this, for all the short working trips, the Kukan bin that terminate at Shirokane Takanawa, let's say there is a train here, it's usually 6 or 8 cars. They have to kick off all the passengers at this platform. This is only for short working trips and not the full distance trains to if I'm not wrong, Hiyoshi or Shin Yokohama and some Sotetsu through services. But no, the short working trips, everybody has to disembark and wait for the next train. So after they disembark, they will go to the sidings and then they would turn back. And the same goes for Namboku line, the short working trips. They would have to disembark here and then they would turn around. Now, because this siding over here, this area, is not public access, you're not supposed to take the train as it turns around. You're not supposed to be on board the train, you're supposed to be at the platforms. It is out of bounds to regular passengers. Because of this, you have a 6 to 8-car train, the driver or conductor or whoever is like managing the station, let's say there's a human over here, they have to walk through all 6 and 8 carriages. Actually, the front is here, but you get the idea. They have to walk through so many carriages to check that everyone has successfully detrained, disembarked, and there is no one left on board as per safety protocol before they can even hit to the siding. And this usually takes around 1 to 2 minutes. Depending on the situation, it might even take longer if there's like, drunk passengers who are asleep. So yeah, it it is a hassle. It takes a lot of time, and frankly speaking, it just kind of like impedes operations, especially if your train has to hold at the platform. And it's not like you're able to turn the train around at the sidings. No, you have to go to the overrun sidings and turn the trains around. So it is really a hassle. Actually, you know what? I think this is pretty misleading, so I'm just gonna erase these areas. Sorry about that. Uh, just note that at Shirokane Dai they share tracks. So yeah, something along those lines. And because it is such a hassle to kick passengers off to confirm that all passengers have disembarked before going to the siding and then turning back, yeah, they decided that it was a good opportunity to send all the Kukanbin, the short working trips, to Shinagawa, where they all can, like, turn the trains around properly. I'm not sure how Shinagawa is gonna look like, but it's probably gonna be just like a simple platform and then, a siding. And because of this, you don't have to like kick passengers off. The passengers, they can just like, stay on board the trains. Like you don't really have to like waste manpower. Sorry, not really waste manpower, but waste a lot of time and the trains like clogging up the platform just to disembark passengers is just not worth it. So all the short working trips, Kukan Bin will be sent to Shinagawa. I mean, they might send more, but this is like the whole thought process of sending trains to Shinagawa. Because if you remember, not Sotetsu, but Tokyo Shin Yokohama line at Shin Yokohama station, there's like 2 island platforms, and it's not 4 tracks, it's 3 tracks, like this. And this middle platform over here is designed to stable trains. So they don't stable at the sidings or overrun, whichever you call it. They stable at the platform. But however, as the example we've seen, as with the example we've seen before, Shirokane Takanawa, in comparison, they are designed for service trains, and the platforms are not designed for this kind of turnaround. Okay, so I'm not a train expert, and I don't really know fully like how trains work in general, so don't take my word for it. But many people might think this extension is done because of like connectivity reasons. But I think it is actually more of operational reasons, like the hassle of like kicking off the passengers at Shirokane Takanawa instead of extending the line. Now, extending a line, it usually requires a lot of cost and time. So you kind of have to like justify it to the public using the connectivity reasons. But um, As for what really, like, the discussion that goes behind the scenes, it was probably more of this, in my opinion. Because the whole thought process of most people, the people who believe like the connectivity is like the main factor, it's like a cause and effect thing or something. They think the easing of operations is like the effect, but in this case, I actually think it's the opposite. So the short working trips terminating at Shinagawa, like extending the line, I think it arises from operational reasons, like the whole hassle of turning trains around. And because of that, they also saw this as an opportunity to get more passengers on board said short working trips as well. I just think the order might have been different from what most people believe. 順番がちょっと逆だと思う。So to end off this video, my guess is that they would still run like most of Toei Mita Line's trains, they would still go to like Meguro Line and then Shin Yokohama and then through service to Sotetsu, and some of them might turn around at Hiyoshi or Shin Yokohama. So there's no change to it. I think that probably the first and last trains, there might probably be some of them that go to Shinagawa. Because both lines, like both Toei and Tokyo, the subway lines, they have the Shirokane Takanawa short working trips. But I just don't think there would be a lot in Mita Line's case. Whereas for Namboku Line, yeah, I think there will be a higher percentage of trains that big that they send to Shinagawa over the Mita Line. Of course, there will still be some that through service here, but yeah. I mean, even right now, there is more Mita Line through service trains than Urawa Misono through service trains. So it kind of adds up that they would send more of the Namboku Line side, the north-south line side, to Shinagawa instead. 本数といえば、海老名から高島平まで、西高島平まで、こちらが多い。変わらない。海老名から浦和美園まで、少ない。And in turn, from Mita Line to Shinagawa, because most of the trains, they would send it to Sotetsu anyway, so I think this would be less as well. And because there are less Sotetsu through trains, I mean, there would still be a lot of Meguro Line service through trains or even up to Shin Yokohama, but since as compared to Mita Line, in the first place, there are already lesser Namboku Line through services to Meguro Line, even way before Tokyo Shin Yokohama Line opened. Because there is less of this, there would be more of this that goes to Shinagawa as a short working trip. To sum it all up, at Shirokane, you need to detrain, but at Shinagawa, you don't need to detrain. And that is because Shirokane Takanawa's platform is not designed for it, but Shinagawa is designed for it. The trains are designed to turn around at the platform. Unlike Shirokane Takanawa, which they have to detrain and then go to the siding or overrun to turn around. So it's because of the difference in turnaround, that's why they prefer sending all the short working trips to Shinagawa. The end. Bye bye.